9 to 5 Fever Expert is actually one of the hardest awakening stages in my opinion in terms of the expert difficulty awakening stages. So in the beginning, just the face spawns, but very quickly after that he is preceded by a couple Squirrels, Shy Boys, and a one Ritual Cat, who has the stats shown. So as you can see, he's a pretty powerful boss, boasting 724k health, 11,000 damage, and 5.5k DPS. And he has 2 knockback counts, and after 1 knockback, or at 50% health, he gets double damage, which means he will insta-kill all of your erasers, and it also doubles his DPS, making him quite deadly. Not to mention the fact that he's not the only one that spawns. There are 2 more Ritual Cats that spawn throughout the battle, along with more Shy Boys. So with Ritual Cat having 350 range, you're gonna need attackers that have over 350 range. So this means Macho Legs and Paris Cat aren't very reliable, along with a lot of other rares and super rares with area attack. So the main units you'll probably have by now with over this range are actually the true form of that Madoka unit, Magica Cat, Madoka Cat, whatever, from the Madoka Magica collab going on right now. You can bring her, she has 425 range in true form, and adds massive damage against floating, so that helps with the Shy Boys. You can bring Dragon Cat, he's a great option. Crazed Dragon Cat if you have him yet, if you don't, that's okay. And Bahamut. Jamira Cat's also not a bad option since he's pretty tanky, so he can get in a couple hits on Salaryman and the Shy Boys before he dies due to his large health bank that allows him to tank a couple hits, along with things like Ro, Zamboni, etc. that are just tanky and have a good amount of health. So either tanky cats or cats with over 350 range are what you want here. Drama is especially good as it has 355 range and is essentially just like Paris Cat, just with a little bit more range. That's a pretty neat unit here. Also, Hacker Cat / Geek Cat's pretty good too. Even though the stage is a pretty big struggle at first, as long as you're spamming your meat shields and deploying your attackers, you should be okay since the Shy Boys do give you large sums of money every time you get to kill one. So they actually help a lot on the stage with your money flow. Yeah, just make sure you bring 4 meat shields, or you could bring 5, honestly, because I brought QB Cat, which is from the Madoka Magica collab that I just got, so you should bring that. That's a great meat shield since it has Survivor. Just make sure to use its first form, as its second form is a lot worse. And so with 4 to 5 meat shields, you're over 350 range attackers, and possibly some sort of tankers like Jamira and Zamboni, you should be good. Also, just an important note, if you're watching this after the Madoka Magica collab ends, the Madoka units are not mandatory. They can just help here. Madoka herself actually is really weak against Salary Cat. She just has massive damage versus floating, but again, she has bad stats. Replace her with Crazed Lizard, or Uru Run, or Lil Nyandem, or just basically anything you have that's a good attacker with over 350 range. Now on to 9 to 5 Fever Insane. So this stage has a very different design compared to the first stage. The biggest thing is the boss summons on base hit now. Before base hit, you have no problems. There's just 2 unboosted kangaroos with a couple of snakes spawning. There is no threat here. I suggest just deploying Eraser and Crazed Cat to build up your money and just stall as long as you can, but the kangaroos are so weak that your Crazed Macho Cat and Wall Cat will eventually kill the kangaroos. They're that, yeah, I know, they're that weak, so yeah, just stall them as long as humanly possible. And then obviously you have to hit the base after they die because nothing's going to stop you. And on base hit, that is when the floodgates open. So on base hit, 2 Ritual Cats, 1 Le Boin, or Le Noir, sorry, the Black Elephant, and a couple Assassin Doges spawn. And while this may seem fine and dandy, a lot more Salaryman Cat spawns, well as 2 more Le Noirs eventually, and Assassin Doges keep spawning throughout. The thing that sucks most is that there's so many Salaryman Cats, or I keep mixing up Salaryman and Ritual, but they're the same thing, okay? So yeah, it's just so many Ritual Cats keep spawning throughout, and with the Le Noirs, they all have 410 range and 11,000 damage, which is really good, and they're pretty tanky too, with 460k health. So you're not going to be killing them before Salaryman Cat, unless your Bahamut manages to get within their range as well as Salaryman's, but it's pretty risky, so you probably won't. The key to success in this stage is deploying your legend rares. These would be Lil Nyandam, Bahamut, and Urarun. You could probably do this without Lil Nyandam, but you definitely need Urarun unless you have some sort of good generalist Ubers. But essentially, this is just a battle of endurance. You need 5 to 6 meat shields here. Luckily, QB Cat kind of counts as like 1.5 meat shields with its survivor ability. So you could bring Yang-Chi in its place if you don't have QB, but if you're watching it within the next 5 days, you can get it pretty easily from Madoka Collab. Since you can easily max out your money before you hit the base, I suggest bringing Cat Computer and also a speed up just to speed up this process. Because from here on out, it's just kind of a long drawn out battle where I don't want to deploy all my mate shields over and over with my fingers, so I bring Cat Computer. Do be aware though, the computer will deploy the most expensive unit you have, so turn it off once if you don't have a lot of money and you have expensive things that are about to be ready to deploy again. Another important note is that you really don't want the Salaryman / Ritual Cats to get synced up. What I mean by this is you don't want them all attacking on the same frame or at once, because that means all the damage will happen in the same frame. So for example, the Salaryman does like 11,000 damage, right? If one Salaryman hits your Bahamut or your Urarun, Bahamut will get knocked back and survive. But if all the Salarymen hit at the exact same time, that will do like tons of damage and Bahamut will get insta-killed. So you really don't want the Salarymen to be synced up, because if you do, it will insta-kill everything you have and nothing will be able to reposition. Some units I highly suggest are, again, all the legend rares and the good generalist Ubers you have with over 350 range and preferably over 410 so they can kill Lenoir later. If you have enough good generalist Ubers, you can actually bring Awakened Bahamut instead of Evolved Bahamut, just because Awakened Bahamut could deal some good chip damage to the stacked Salaryman Cats. And this may sound weird, but I do not recommend bringing Eraser Cat, because he will get eventually, the Salaryman will get so powerful that Eraser will get insta-killed. So I really only suggest Crazed Wall, because at least he's fast. But with Eraser, he's only really good at the beginning for selling the kangaroos, and that's not a reason worth bringing him when you could just use Crazed Wall and Crazed Matcha to do that job for you.